What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing? This is Sascha Chatman, team leader here of Chatman Realty Group, and we are live here on our podcast, Let's Chat Real Estate, and where we're talking everything about real estate. All right. Today we have a great show for you guys. I got my guy who's going to be on here, Rod C. I'm gonna get Rod on real quick. We're talking about down payment assistance. So we should be streaming live. We should be on our Chatman Realty Group Facebook page, Chatman Realty Group YouTube channel. We should also be on my personal Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, all over the place. We're also going to be streaming live on Rod's social media as well. So without further ado, let me get my guy, Rod C in. Rod, how you doing, man?
What's going on, Sasha? How are you? How are you, sir?
Oh man, I can't complain. I cannot complain. I'm happy you here. You know, it's taken a minute for you and I to get hooked up, right?
Well, hey, when the biggest and brightest try to collide at one point, it takes a while for us to get together. So we definitely been knowing each other, and I've been seeing you out here running these streets and doing what you do for many years. And so I'm super excited to have an opportunity to talk to your audience. So
Well, man, I
thank you so
appreciate
much
that,
for
but
doing
here's the deal. I can't act like I'm an OG, not compared to you. I know you've been doing it for a good minute. You deserve a hand, sir. With all the people you've been helping out here, I'm trying to tell you, man, I know it's been a lot of people you've been helping, and I've seen it. And we
it.
tried to hook up a couple years, but it just timing wasn't right. But guess
Right.
what? Time is right now.
There you go. There you go.
Real
Everything
quick,
happens for a reason.
Rod, can you drop your information so everyone knows how to catch up with you?
Yeah, so basically, Rod C, and everybody thinks that C means the letter C, but it's actually SEE. I don't know where my name came from, but it's easy to say. So www.rodc.com, or you can reach out to me at 817-937-3630, 817-937-3630. Or if you want to shoot an email, rod@rodc.com, ROD@RODSEE.com.
Right. So we're talking about down payment assistance. And so here's the deal. For those who are not joining us here live, feel free to reach out and Rod and myself to have a good conversation about down payment assistance because right now is your time. So if you're watching the replay right now, all right, it's not like we're going to get into it. And if you miss the information live, you can come back and ask us any questions that you want. We're going to drop down here in the chat. I got my information down there for you guys to grab my Bitly. You know, oh, we already got people telling us, man, let's go. Let's drop the knowledge. Let's drop the knowledge. We got a Facebook user, and hey, we about to bring it. We're gonna bring it. It's okay. The puppy can bark. The puppy just wants to know the
Hey,
information
I was
too.
gonna say, man, I apologize. My dog is sitting there looking at me like, "What are you doing? Like, who are you talking to? Ain't nobody in the room." So,
Man,
but yeah,
it's the beauty
he's
of
right there.
entrepreneurship. You know, I love doing real estate. But
Exactly.
let's get into it, man. This
Right.
market, it has
Yes.
changed. We say this every single time. It has changed, right? So down payment assistance seems like it's back, right?
And actually, I'm gonna say like this, guys. It never really went anywhere.
Right.
Some lenders want to make you think that it was gone, but it never really was. All it did was just like the market, the rates just increased, and maybe they increased to a point where it knocked some people out from what they wanted to buy. Because if I had qualified you at a 4% interest rate, and then now all of a sudden rates are 7%, maybe you don't qualify that for that same house. But down payment assistance never really went away. It just like anything else, interest rates just increase.
Right. So right now, the market's changed, and we've been talking about this buyer buy down strategy. We've been talking about the fact that sellers are giving closing costs. So the first question I have from somebody they submitted earlier was, can you get closing costs from a seller and do down payment assistance?
Absolutely, especially if you're working with Sasha. If you're working with Sasha, you can always get your. Now I'm just playing, but in certain situations, absolutely. Just because you got down payment assistance does not change anything associated with the loan. Matter of fact, in most cases, the seller doesn't even really need to even know or care that you actually getting assistance from the state or getting assistance from the county or
Right.
nationally for that. So at the end of the day, negotiate the contract the same way you would negotiate it if you was bringing your own money to the table. It does not matter whatsoever.
You know, that's a great point, man. That's a really good point because here's the deal. A lot of buyers say, well, if they know I'm taking down payment assistance, they're going to look at what I'm getting is not being that good, right? No, they don't even know.
Yeah.
They have no idea,
And this
right?
is the thing about it. Let me tell you, if you're getting down payment assistance, that's pretty much guaranteed. You having to come up with nine and ten or $20,000 that you may not have, that's
Hmm.
not guaranteed. But if you qualify for the programs, your credit is where it needs to be, you meet all the income guidelines and things like that, that money is guaranteed. That money does not run out. So if I'm a buyer or a seller and I find out the person is getting money through some of the programs out there, I'm excited because that's like mailbox money. It's gonna hit that
Absolutely.
mailbox, and the guy doesn't have to come up, or the couple doesn't have to come up with all this money. They just come up with enough to cover the remainder of the closing costs.
Absolutely. So, Rod, if you're ready to share your screen, go ahead and bring that information up. I just want to say this, guys. Now's the time, right? Let me tell you why it's the time to buy. I'm going to just keep it real short while he brings this up. It's time to buy right now because A, you got more homes on the market than we've had in the past, okay, the past 2 years. Two, okay, you have less buyers out there buying. Okay, you have less competition. You don't have to give up your kidney. You don't have to give up your firstborn child. You
Right.
don't have to go extensively over asking price, right? And you have less buyers out there. So when you have less buyers out there, you have sellers actually dropping their price point a little bit. Now is the time to act. So yes, you can go ahead and get into a home, and you can get into a home and make it affordable, right? You can buy down points. You can use this down payment assistance money to really help you and make it more affordable, so it's not as much out of your pocket.
All right.
People
Let me.
just think it's going to cost them an arm and a leg. Hey Rod, do me a favor. Let me go ahead and share your screen real quick again.
Yeah, let me do that because I was thinking I was sharing it, but it's acting like it was sharing the wrong one. Yeah. Which
Oh,
one do
there it is.
y'all
I
do?
got it. You ready?
Okay, you good? You good?
Yep, yep, we're good.
All right, so let me talk a little bit about it. I'm not going to spend a lot of time going through all the details associated with buying a house, but what I am going to talk about a little bit, and let me see if this works for us. I'm going to open up the screen all the way and see if this is an even better option for us here, Sasha.
Okay,
Yeah, there we go. All right.
there we go.
So what I am going to talk about is just a little bit about, just briefly about myself, but then we're going to move into down payment assistance really quickly. And Sasha,
Hey, Rod,
if you
before
have,
you jump there, we got one
okay,
quick question that just popped up, real
okay.
quick. Someone's asking about how do you buy point? How do you buy down points?
Ah, it's a great question. Great question. And how you buy down points is
Hmm.
basically you saying that I want to bring a few more dollars to closing, not a lot, but a few more dollars to closing. So therefore, my interest rate over the course of the entire loan is much, much lower. So let's say, for instance, I buy a $300,000 house and I want to pay 1 point. That's one percentage of the loan. That's 3 grand. But my rate may go from a 5% down to a 4.5. Now you may say, well, why would somebody want to do that? Why would I bring $3,000 extra? Well, over the course of time, that 4.5 might increase or might decrease your payment by $150 a month. $150 a month over 1 year, over 2 years, over 3 years, over 30 years is going to be well more than $3,000 that you have to pay up front. So buying your rate down, some people call it discount points, whatever
Right,
it is, it's basically saying I'll bring a few more dollars to the closing table in order to get a much lower interest rate. That's
right.
what buying down points are. And you can do that too as well.
All right. Thank you, Tiffany, for your question. That was Tiffany there. All right. So real quick, let's get back into the presentation. Let's talk about the down payment assistance. All right. It's on you,
All right.
Rod.
All right, so a couple things. Understanding the change in real estate market. Like Sasha said, it's just one of those situations where right now we're in a position where we can go out there and look at those things, right? Who am I? Who's my company? My name is Rod C. Guarantee Rate. Guarantee Rate was founded in 2000. I actually been in the business since about 2003. Licensed in all 50 states. Top two lender in the entire nation. 95% customer service satisfaction rating. I'm actually licensed not only in Texas, but in a few other states too as well that you see on the screen. I actually run a branch in Oklahoma City and in Arlington, Texas. We have licenses in our branch alone at various states. I actually helped it's probably close to about 3,000 families at this point, but 2,000 families at this point over my career to put themselves in a position to purchase a house, right? I'm not going to go through a lot of this, but a lot of this stuff is just my presentation that I use in terms of income and credit and all that. But we're going to talk about the down payment assistance situation, right? All right. So let's find that real
I
quick.
like that presentation. I know you're legit.
All right, so let's
He's been
talk
doing it
through.
for a minute, people.
Oh yeah, we've been doing it for a while, right? So whenever you buy a house, most of you guys don't understand, or maybe you do or don't. But there is a most programs require you to have some money down. Generally, minimum down payment is going to be 3.5 up to 5%, right? And your closing costs are going to be anywhere from, I say 2 to 3, but it could be 3 to 4% based on the price of the house that you're buying. So when you start adding that up, that's a lot of money. I want you to think about it. If you buy a $300,000 house, if my down payment is 3.5, that's 10 grand. Let's say my closing cost is another 3.5, that's 7 more grand. We're talking about $17,000. A lot of people don't have $17,000 in order to get into a house, right?
Right,
So,
right,
long time ago, the state, cities, counties, even national, came up with programs so that put you in a position so that you wouldn't have to come up with all that money out of your pocket, right? Because there's some other things too. There's upfront costs. You got earnest monies and
hmm
inspection monies and appraisal monies. But see, what the last thing that society wants is a person to say, "Hey, I got great credit, I make good income, but I can't buy a house because I just don't have enough money to save. It's going to take me 3 years to put together 20 grand, right?" So they put
right.
together programs that would allow people to come in and actually reduce, I'm not saying eliminate, but reduce the amount of money that they have to bring to the table, right? And so a lot of the programs that we utilize are state regulated programs, programs like TDHCA or TSHAC or SEF, and you guys can see that at the bottom of the screen. From our people that are in Oklahoma, we got the OFA product, and nationally, we got a product called Chinoa. And basically, all these programs do is they say, here's grant money, here's down payment assistance money,
Right,
here's
right.
whatever you want to call it, but here's some money so that you don't have to worry about bringing money to the table. Let me tell you a story. I closed a good friend of mine. He'd been trying to buy a house for like 3, 4 years. Matter of fact, probably longer than that. And when we initially started, he didn't have any money whatsoever, right? 3 years ago, right? But he got a good job. As a matter of fact, he's working on his credit and everything. Got a good job, got his credit together, and he called me up and he said, "Hey, I want to purchase a house." I said, "What price point?" He said, 400,000. I said, "Great." I said, "If we do the math, that's about $25,000 down payment, closing costs, the whole deal." He didn't have 25 grand. I said, "Well, man, how much can you come up with?" He said, "Man, I can come up with about 5." I was like, "Oh God." Okay. I was like, "Okay, well, we need to work this out." So I was able to put him on a down payment program through Chinoa. Chinoa actually was able to give him over $15,000 in down payment assistance. And then at that time, because right now the market is a little bit starting to move back into the buyer's kind of arena, the seller
Absolutely.
was the seller was able to give him $10,000 to cover his closing costs. So I covered the down payment with Chinoa. The seller covered the closing costs. He didn't have to bring any money to the table whatsoever. As a matter of fact, the earnest money that he put in, he got every dollar of his earnest money back so he can go buy furniture and things like that. Now that's an awesome scenario, right? And I'm not saying it's going to happen like that for everybody. But at the end of the day, there are programs out there, and you're working with the right agent like Sascha and his crew. I guarantee you, don't be afraid that just because you don't have $20,000 that you can't buy a house. Don't be afraid about that at all, because that's how the program works. Now, these programs they do
Let's
come.
emphasize that real quick for everybody, though, Rod. Let's make sure we emphasize it. Matter of fact, let's zoom in on this one.
Okay.
Guys, we want to be clear about this. When you hear people talk about buy a house with no money down, these are the type of programs that we're talking about. Okay. It is very much possible for you to be able to buy a home without help putting any money down. So if you don't have a ton of money in your bank account, don't think that makes you absent from being able to buy a home, because Rod has wonderful programs like this that's going to help you. And my team and I, we know how to negotiate to get you closing costs. Right now, it's your time. I don't know if y'all hear me, if y'all understand what I'm saying. Right now is your time as a buyer to make this happen. Yes, we can get you closing costs. If you had asked about closing costs maybe 6 months ago, it was out there, but not like it is right now.
Exactly.
We can get that in abundance for you. And then you add on a down payment assistance program, and now you could actually walk away and get paid to buy a house. That
Now I'm gonna
happened
say
to
this. I'm
us
gonna
for our
say this.
first home.
I'm gonna say this, Sasha. I'm gonna say one thing.
Mhm.
When you do that, and you asking sellers to, pitch in for closing, you can't still at the same time try to, bargain with them and try to reduce the price of the house by 20,000, offer them
Yeah,
20,000 less than what they have for the
yeah.
listing. So, it's
That's a
one
good
thing to
point.
say, yeah, it's one thing to go in and say, hey, can we negotiate the seller pay closing and raw to cover the down? But it's a whole
So,
nother
Rod,
thing.
you mean they can't get the house for $30,000 less and get 10,000 from that seller? Is that what you're saying?
If you can, you the man, right? You the man. But nah, I
Well,
think in some
people will ask us
situations,
to do that. It don't work like that, people.
and you got to balance. You got to balance because you think
There is
about
a
it. If you
balance.
were the seller, what would you do? That's
Right,
what you.
right.
If you were selling the house, what would you do? So it is
And
the
I'll tell
market
you
on
right
your
now,
side.
it's not really worth it to lose out on your home. If it is home, when you walk through those doors and it feels like home, and
That's
you're
it.
about to lose out on your home because you're trying to beat them down a little bit more. Let me explain something. Dropping the price by $20,000 on your monthly payment doesn't do a whole lot.
Nope.
It doesn't do a whole lot to your monthly payment. Most of us are paying our bills monthly. Okay. Monthly. That doesn't change a whole lot. Okay. Hey, Rob, you got a quick question about Chenoa, real quick. You want to jump on that one?
Sure. What is it?
What are the qualifications for Chenoa? Someone's asking.
All right. Good. And I was about to get into that. Credit score requirement 600. If your credit score goes above 640, we can increase your debt ratio. They want to keep your debt ratios around 45%. But if we go 640 on our credit score, then now I can go up to 57%. But that's the whole requirement right there. Some of the programs that we deal with, they do have an income cap. Chenoa doesn't. Chenoa does not have an income cap when it comes to down payment assistance. So if
Right.
somebody makes $1 million a year and they want Chenoa, they can have Chenoa. Now,
That's
TDA,
interesting, isn't it?
yeah, TDACA, TSHAC, SEF, generally their income cap is about 120 to 130. But Chenoa says we don't care about income caps. We're nationwide. It don't matter. All we carry is credit score between 600 and 639, 45% debt ratio. Anything over 640, then whatever our automatic system approves you at, then you're good to go.
Okay. Hey, Rod, I got another question for you. Someone asked me this question, and I did not know the answer to it. Someone
Uh-huh.
was asking me, can I buy down points if I'm doing a down payment assistance program? I
Okay,
didn't
so
think you
let's.
could, but I'm not really sure.
Well, you can, but it's really what happens. Let me tell you what happens
Okay.
with the down payment programs. The less money that you need from them, the lower the interest rate because they have different options. So let's
Hmm.
say I buy a house and it's 200,000, right? And let's say I only need 4 grand of assistance. Let's say I can cover the rest of it. Well, that's going to be one interest rate. That interest rate might be 6%. But then you say, you know what? I need more than 4 grand. I need 6 grand. So I need another percent. So I need six. I need 2,000 more. Now that interest rate might be 6.25. Hey, you know what? I still really actually need more than that. I need $8,000. Well, now that interest rate might be 6.5. So you can
Right.
fit on the spectrum how much money you need, and by lowering the amount of money that you need, or the more money you bring to the table,
Right.
that will
Right.
put you in a position to have a lower interest rate. The more you
Okay.
get, the higher the rate. The less you want, the less you bring, the lower the rate.
So it's a balance of how much you really need out of pocket versus what you want your payment to be.
Exactly. There you go.
Yep.
You got it. Now, I'm going to say this. Every time I put the examples up, and Sasha, I totally forgot. I didn't have my screenshot for the example, but every time I put the example up, people always take as much money as they can afford to take. And part of the reason why is that in these programs, you can refinance. Like I always tell people, you buy the house,
Right.
you don't have to marry the interest rate. You can date the interest rate. So that means a year from now, 2 years from now, 10 years from now, if you decide at some point that you want to refinance and get a lower rate, you definitely can. So don't think that if you get a 6.5 interest rate and everybody else is getting 5.5, that you
Right,
got to have
right,
that interest rate for 30 years. It doesn't work that way. After a certain period of time, you're going to refinance anyway because you're going to pull off your PMI, rates are going to go down, whatever the case may be. The average person doesn't get their mortgage, no matter if they're using program or not. They're not in their mortgage more than about 5 years anyway.
right,
So regardless, you're probably going to refinance. So don't get caught up thinking that I'm gonna have a 6.5% interest rate forever because it doesn't work that way.
right. I mean, and that's the thing. And so let's say this a little differently. Do you expect to make the same amount of money to 3 years from now? No, most people are trying to progress their careers, right?
Exactly.
Most people are trying to take themselves to another level. And I will tell you the difference what a year can make for some can be huge, 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 huge. For example, when I first started my career in healthcare, I was making 25 grand, right? And then I got my first management position. I went straight to 47,000. That changed my life, right?
Right.
If you're
Right.
on the path of growing in your field, whatever your career is, and you know that you have a plan and you know that you're going to go out there and go get it. And let me tell you, go get it. If you know that's going to be happening to you, you can feel very comfortable in the fact that, okay, I can afford this payment right now and then live comfortably. I always tell people that don't be house poor, live comfortably. And then you know you're going to take that next level. Guess what? You're going to refinance and then you'll really be winning. That's what happened to my wife and I. We took down payment assistance program. I remember when President Obama was doing $8,000
Ah, yeah,
for
yeah, 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 yeah.
uh, whichever one that was, but we had that it stacked on top of something else, and I was like, well, the interest rate wasn't too bad, but then I took my executive role, and guess what? Hey, we refinanced, we were winning, we were
Sasha, you
winning,
got
winning.
you, you got a little age on you because that's a program from back in the day, brother.
Uh, you know, I've been dying to gray out, so people don't know exactly how old I am.
Yeah.
Little
People
sensitive.
like,
That's
what
why I
they
wear
say,
the hat.
they probably
I
think
got
about what is he talking about? Yeah, I think W actually started. George W. started, and I think he started it out, and he had a program. I think he did the 8,000, and then when Obama came in, and they did the $2,000 every year for the life of the loan. And then
right,
now the big thing is more about these national and these statewide assistance programs that come through. So absolutely, these politicians and the government have always been trying to figure a way to create home ownership. Like for
right, right,
us, just the more stable people that we have, more people that we have own homes, that increases the value of these neighborhoods, that increases the safety and security, that increases everything, that increases people who want to have jobs for a long time because they want to be able to pay for their homes. It increases the entire American dream. So that's why myself, people like Sasha, we're so passionate in order to get people in homes because we know that's going to really change us as an entire society. It's a big difference when you go into a neighborhood and it's
it's huge.
90% rental compared to 90% homeowners. Totally different type of neighborhood.
Yeah, and let me tell you guys because every man, I'm doing this every day. My agents are out here doing this every single day, and we'll see somebody who inherited a home from their grandmother or from their mom or whomever. They didn't do anything. They are inheriting a home from somebody that they bought at $50,000, what, 50 years ago. Okay, and now they have an asset that is worth a ton of money. They have an asset that's just sitting out there that's worth 350, $400,000. That is a wonderful day to inherit a 350, $400,000 asset that you really don't truly need. That's
Let,
just
let me
sitting there.
let me tell you a story, a recent story that just happened, like just happened. So I get a call last week from a friend of mine in Houston. He stated that his niece was about to let his brother's house go.
Mm,
They live in Garland. And he called me up. He said, Rob, what do you think they should do? And I said, wait a minute. They need to put this house on the market. Like even he said, but it's a trashed out, it's needs ton of work. I said
right,
it doesn't
right,
matter. They need to put this house on the market, right? So the mortgage on the house. So dad passed away. The mortgage on the house was 30 grand. And the daughter said, I don't really want to even pay it no more. I'm just going to let them have the house. To me, it's not even worth 30 grand. I said, don't do that. I said, find you an agent. They over there in Forney or Mesquite.
40, yeah, 40.
Find you an agent. They found the agent, and the agent that same day had an investor willing to pay more than $230,000 for that house, because the value of the house is probably going to be 400,000 once everything is up to speed. Think about that. What Sascha just said.
Man, that's
Dad,
crazy.
Dad left the house in a complete mess. Carpet tore up, appliances don't work, trash everywhere. He still owed 30 grand on the house.
Exactly.
But an investor came in and say, I'll pay you $230,000 for this house because I know what I can do to it and what it's going to be worth. So now her brother and her get to split 100 or $200,000 a piece, or $200,000 total, $100,000 a piece, and they don't even have to do anything. Like, you think about that, right? You think about it. You think about that asset, right? That dad left in horrible shape, but yet that's an insurance policy he left for his kids, 100,000 for each of them, because they had a piece of property. That's what you
Man,
want.
that sounds
If
like
he,
heaven to me. I'll take that.
is that if he was renting, he couldn't have left them anything. None. Matter of fact, they'd have owed money because they had to clean up the property behind it.
Right. Let me tell you, I've had people go through and take their money, send their kids through college. I've had people take that money and go build out their log cabin out in Montana. I've had
Right.
seen people do all kind of things. You have the opportunity right now. If you come from a family that's never owned a home, okay, you could be the first one in a generation to do so. And you can start your family off on wealth. The quickest way to get wealth in this country is through real estate. Okay. And right now, what I'm doing, I just tell you, I'll be blunt about it. I'm getting real estate so my kids can do very, very well. I didn't come from money. I wasn't poor either. But you know what? My kids gonna come from money. And we're gonna work hard to make sure that's going to be the reality. Now, if you want to give yourself a leg up, you want to give your kids a shot in future generations, buy real estate. We'll show you how to do it. Start with your first house. Use down payment assistance as we're talking about right now so you can get your first home. While I would love to sell that house for you down the road, maybe you hold on to it for a little bit, get you another house. Okay. And then when you're ready to let that one actually accumulate, the way house home values are going up here in DFW, you could be sitting on a mountain. The way home values went up this particular year in the past 2 years
Oh God.
was ridiculous, and that wasn't supposed to happen. But there's a lot of happy people out there right now that are glad that it did.
Yeah, exactly. I echo what you're saying, because at the end of the day, no matter if you are poor, middle class, or ultra rich, no matter where you are, 99% of the wealth that's built in this country is through real estate. Yeah, you got the Googles out there and you got the Facebooks out there, and they made a ton of money, Bitcoin and all that stuff. I got it. But even those individuals take their money, and what they do with it, they invest it in real estate. Bottom line, that's what happens.
Absolutely,
I don't care who you are. I don't care what walk of life you're with. I don't care how rich or non-rich your parents were. At some point, to get to that next level, it's real estate. It's real estate. I guarantee you.
no doubt. Hey, Rod, do you have any other fine points you want to drop on them about down payment assistance?
What I'm gonna do? Let me put this here so you guys can see it. Um, and basically, this is my contact information. And I want you guys to take it down if y'all can. Rod or Rod C, 837-3630, or www.rodc.com. I'm going to say this. Don't let the lack of money stop you, stop you from creating equity and a family, what they call this generational wealth in your household.
Correct,
Don't
correct.
ever let it happen. Just like Sascha said, his when him and his wife, they took advantage of the program back when. So did I when I got involved. So don't think that just because you ain't got tens and thousands of dollars that you can't now leverage real estate. You can definitely do it. So definitely give me a call. Give Sasha's team a call first. They'll get you set up. They'll send them. They'll clean you up, send them over to me, and then we'll be off to the races. But don't ever think lack of money can stop you from doing making what you want to happen. Stop paying the landlord. Stop making these landlords rich. Let's get to the point where we own something and we're just not giving all our funds away. That's it for me.
All right, guys, so here's the dealio. You are out there right now paying a mortgage. You're paying a mortgage.
Yep,
The question is, are you paying your mortgage or are you paying somebody else's mortgage?
that's it.
That's it. All right. I don't care if you're sitting here renting right now in a 3 bedroom, 2 bath apartment right now here in DFW. If you're renting a 3 bedroom, 2 bath in DFW right now, that's not cheap. That is not cheap. I know over here in my area in Fort Worth, that is going for $2,200.
At
For
least 200.
$2,200, you can have your own backyard. Puppy can run around. Kids can play in the backyard safely. Get yourself a home. We want to get you started. We're going to be putting out more content to help get you guys going because I'm telling you right now, we're so passionate in helping people find a home. The people on my team for Chapman Realty Group, they're so passionate about helping people find a home. It can change your life. Peace of mind cannot be bought, especially in this world right now. Okay. Our information is going to be down below. We're going to put our Bitly links out there as well for you all. So feel free to grab that. And I mean, our Calendly links, feel free to grab those so you can go to Rod's website and start your application. I want to speak on that real quick. If you're thinking about buying a house, yes, you got to talk to a lender. And yes, you need to put an application in. If you
Absolutely.
don't do that, they don't know what's going on with you.
Yeah,
Let's say the worst thing happened. Let's say you don't get pre approved. You know what you're going to do? You're going to learn what you need to work on so you can get pre-approved.
that's
Rod and
it.
his team are going to they're going to give you everything you need to do in an awesome plan and say, hey, we can get you here in X amount of months. Right now, you don't know what you don't know. And if you don't know, it's about time that you go find out. So we're going to make sure that happens for you.
There you go.
Rod, you got anything else to say before we let you go, my friend?
Man, I appreciate you, Sasha. Awesome. I love it. I love it. I'm super excited about it. I'm super excited about this market. I'm super excited where we're headed. And I just think this is a great time. If you guys have any inclination that you want to be a homeowner, let's do it. Let's do it. I think the worst thing that I did in my entire life, I waited too long to buy a
Yeah,
house. I was 29 when I bought my first house. I should have been 21. And so if you're in a position, you young on the line, you got a decent job, you making decent money, don't even hesitate because that's 8 years that I lost in terms of value that I could have had to as well. So I don't care who you are, and I don't care if you 90 years old. I had somebody call me the other day. She was 65 years old, buying her first house, but she excited because she knows that's something she can leave to her family and her descendants. So it don't matter
absolutely.
from 21 to 95. Let's make it happen.
Let's make it happen.
All right.
Hey, Rob, we appreciate you joining us here for the show, man. We make sure everyone can reach out to you. So if you're watching the replay, the information is down below. Reach out to Rod. If you got any questions of myself, we'll be more than happy to talk to you. My agents are ready to talk to you. We're going to get you guys going. Pretty soon, we're going to put on another buyer webinar for you guys to come in a Zoom meeting, not streaming live like this, but privately, so we can answer all of your questions. All right.
Absolutely. Love
With
it.
that being said, we're going to let Rod go. We're going to keep on going. Thank you, Rod.
You have a good one. Talk later.
All right. All right, guys. He's the man. That's what's up. Y'all need to give my guy a call. So, real quick, we're going to transition real quick and we are going to talk about our listing of the week. So, real quick, we have a new listing we just put out on the market here. Let's bring this one up. All right, let's zoom in on this one, guys. This one here is 320 Bremen Drive. Is located right here. Oh, let me take that off. Hold up. All right. 320 Bremen Drive, located in Hurst, Texas. Now, here's the deal. This is on the best website you'll find out there, chatmanrealtygroup.com. We only have active homes on the market on our website. Okay. Only active homes on the market. This one here is 440,000. It is 4 bedrooms, 3 baths, 2,200 square feet, almost 2,300 square feet. It's a 1 story, no rear neighbor. Brand new fence has been put out there. And here's the beauty of this one: we're offering up $15,000 of closing costs in order for you to make the house more affordable. We talked about this, getting your points, right? Buying down points. That's exactly what we're going to allow you to do. It is a wonderful home, right? And if you was to go in here and look at this house here, it has 2 living areas. This room is huge. It's actually a bedroom as well because there's a closet, but used as a living room. So it can be a 5 bedroom home. Okay, because that's actually a bedroom, but we're calling it a second living area. Okay, it's gigantic, man. It's huge. Okay, I love the flooring that they have in this particular house. This was actually listed by our listing agent here, and that one's going to be Lisa Reed. Lisa Reed is actually listing this house here with Chapman Realty Group, and it's just waiting for you. If you're interested and you're looking for a house out in Hearst in a wonderful neighborhood, walking distance from the park, and it's a really nice park. We're going to put a video out there about the park here shortly. Guys, feel free to give us a call here at Chapman Realty Group. Our contact information is 817 668 0311. Okay. We'll get Lisa Reed's contact information out there as well. And we'd love to talk to you about this home. All right. Now, here's the deal. That's our show for today. Next week we're going to transition. We're going to talk about getting into real estate. We had a show not too long ago where Chauncey Pham and I discussed about getting into real estate. And next week we're going to talk about what careers do well coming into real estate. Okay. How do you transition from your career right now to becoming a real estate agent? Okay. There's some people out there right now at the sound of my voice who absolutely can't stand their job. They don't like the supervisor. They don't like what they do anymore. They go into work like a drone, and it doesn't feel like they have any purpose. I know that person because I was that person. I did not enjoy my last 3 years in healthcare. I did it because I had to do it. I did it because I was addicted to that income. And had God not knocked me off my high horse, and had I not fallen down to stand back up, I would still be in healthcare right now, working and miserable. I call that death by cubicle. Okay. Don't you die slow death by cubicle in a job you feel like that you don't have any purpose. So come on out to Let's Chat Real Estate, and we're going to talk about what you need to do differently and what careers help you transition into becoming a real estate agent. There's some careers out there that these folks come in and just crush it out the box. I'm throwing out there teachers. Teachers make excellent realtors. One more time. Teachers, if you're a teacher, teachers make excellent realtors because all we're talking about is educating people every single day and giving them options and allowing them to make their own decision. If you can wrangle a classroom full of screaming 8 and 9 year olds, you can handle a client going out to find their first house, and you can handle someone and help them selling their home. Real quick, I'm going to put Lisa Reed's contact information up here, guys. You can catch Lisa Reed right here. Lisa the closer. That's what we call her. She's got one listing on the market. She's closing deals all day, every day. 817-773-1496. One more time. 817-733-1496. I appreciate you guys tuning in for this edition of Let's Chat Real Estate. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach on out. I am, once again, Sascha Chatman with Chapman Realty Group. I am the team leader here with our group, and we look forward to helping you out, whether you're trying to get in the real estate market or you're a buyer trying to figure this whole thing out to buy your first home, or if you're a seller trying to cash in on your equity. It's a great time to be in real estate. It's a great time to be you. You guys take care. Be blessed. Peace.